Well, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Wrenchingwrecked. Lots of things to do. KZ calipers to rebuild. Just got the tractor done, so that's good. That was in the last video. Today, I'm gonna finish up one more caliper so we can at least get the fronts done. I'm not walking through on any of these. There's other people that, especially on Jap bike stuff. The first one, I had it time-lapsed. I was figuring out how these went back together on my own. We might go through the carbs a little bit more because that makes more sense to me. These, I couldn't remember what I took apart because I was hoping to have this done in a couple days, and it ended up being full blast and recoat and then clean them up, and now they're ready to go back together on these ones. So we got some slider pins and some other bits we got to clean out on here. This should be good. It's all blown out and ready to go. Here's our new seals and kit. So we're going to drop all this out on here. We got a brand new old stock piston here. Not perfect, but very clean compared to the super rusty ones that I had in here before. So I'm gonna set you guys up here. Hopefully the time lapse will help kind of show you what I'm doing as I'm doing that. And we will at least get the front two of these hooked back up on the bike today. I don't know if we're gonna get into the master or not, or the switches. We got a ton of work to do on that. The master cylinder up top needs to be replaced because the sight glass is broken. I don't know how it's not leaking more. Calipers will get mounted on the forks here. And the rear, I don't have the seals for. So I thought I ordered all three. Apparently I only ordered two, but they're all the same size piston, it looks like. So we can get the fronts put back together, or one front, one rear, but I'd much rather just have the front end locked down. And then if we have time today, we might get into the carburetors too, but no promises. So let me set you guys up here, and we'll get some grease and some things lubed up and start slapping these together. Calipers here. I did not spend a ton of time going through and trying to make these the absolute prettiest things in the world by any means, okay? Just a quick rush job. I didn't really care to coat them at all, but they were so grimy and crusty that this needed a little bit of love. So these are, I don't even remember where I got these kits from, but this is all the bits here. And here is a piston. So fingers crossed, these are the right size. Yes, they are. So these are in much better shape. We do not have any sort of grease or anything on here, and that's a blasted profile on the inside of the caliper with some light media just to clean up, because this was all corroded. It's not pitted, but it's just easier to do it this way than try and clear all of that out. So we got a couple seals here. We got the one that goes over the caliper, or the piston, which is not, well, slides into here rather. So let me throw a little bit of the provided grease. I have no idea what kind of grease this is, but it came in the kit, so hopefully it's weird way of packaging that. But we'll line this side. You can also use brake fluid in my experience for this. And we'll jam this O-ring in. This is the easy one. The hard ones are coming up soon. I know this is open. I did not coat that on purpose. I just jammed a towel in here because I didn't have that much time, and I don't care that much about it. Okay. This one is tricky. This one will clip that groove in the caliper or the piston, and then catch on this lip. So let's try and grease this up a little bit. You know what? Let me put a towel down. I don't care enough to actually worry about it, but there's no sense in sitting here trying to scratch all these up. Come on. Do I need more grease? Maybe some more brake fluid? There we go. A little dab will do ya. Don't go all the way in, please. Shit. Come on. Catch, catch, catch. There we go. I'm not sure when the GoPro died, but piston's in, ring is in. So we should be okay there. This is just your kind of dust boot to prevent it from getting completely stuck in there. Or corroded in there. Man, my brain's not working today. And that's my first beer, so can't blame it on that. So that's good. And then I probably should clean these clips up, but again, this is not a bike that I am genuinely super excited about, unfortunately. So we're just kind of trying to do our best here and make it semi-functional. Where are my pads? Let me grab a set of pads. I don't remember if they're all different or if they're all the same. It'd be nice if they were all the same, though. We're doing a down and dirty version. There's plenty of life left on these. They're not the greatest by any means. These all the same? Size-wise? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, literally polishing a turd today. These will drop in like that. And where did these little clips go? I don't even remember. It's been so long since these were apart. It really helps if you bring all your parts over with you. Definitely makes it a little bit easier to figure out where all your parts go. Couldn't figure out where the clips went because they don't go on the caliper. They go on the caliper bracket that I didn't have set up. So these will clip on here. And here, like so. Oh shit, which one's left and right? Left side. I'm guessing that's the right one for the bleeder screw. Left will go here. I know I still have more parts. I'm just trying to lay this out so it mentally makes sense in my head. If that goes there, front left, brake line comes in from the rear, and this mounts there. Yeah. All right, so this has to be the left one. So we need the right one. Bleeder screw, banjo fitting. That kind of makes sense. We will have to grease the crap out of these little slides as well. I'm literally winging this right now. It's been far too long since I actually had all of these hooked up. But on our caliper brackets, We got our little dust boots. Which ones are which here? Did I really dump? No. Second, I thought I dumped both of these. Come on, you. And we need some grease. And some slide pins. Which, I'm not sure which of these we're actually going to use. Should also clean these up quite a bit. I don't really like the new boots that they sent me at all. So we're not going to use those. I'm going to use the old rubber ones that are still soft. But we are going to throw a generous amount of grease in here. And then roll a fresh pin around in there on the slider. That's not the one I just cleaned. But these are working way better than they were before, so that's exactly what we want. Come on. There we go. Uh-oh. Let's try another one. I just grabbed some random ones. I'm assuming they're all the same. Maybe I'm wrong. Here, this one's got a little sleeve on it. Might have gone a little too greasy on this one. Hopefully you didn't mind the time-lapse bit of that. I didn't want to walk through and explain everything. This is not, how do I put this? I like this bike. I have no qualms with this bike. I have no problem with Jap bikes. I started on Jap bikes. It's nice having something fun, but this has been outside, neglected. It's by no means a show bike. It's not original paint. The paint on the tank is cracked and broken. I gotta figure out the key situation for that lock. I might be able to do that with a screwdriver, actually. I don't think they were toothed on those, but I don't have a seat lock for it. That's in the bin. You kind of went over most of that. Don't want to get into it. But just because I don't like it doesn't mean other people will. In my opinion, the early 70s versions of these 750, 650, 750, 1000s, across the board, the Hondas, the Kawis, Yamaha, I had a ton of Yamaha triples. That's really one of the first bigger bikes that I cut my teeth on. The 3-cylinder shaft drive Yamahas. I had the early ones with the kind of cafe style, I mean, it's stock style tank, but by modern standards, all the cafes that people are building these days, that triple, and my brother had this, and we were ripping around on these on a regular basis. Mine was hacked up and, you know, solo seated and 3-into-1 straight pipes with Volkswagen exhaust tips. That's the first bike I ever tore down, was a 79 or 78 Yamaha triple 750. I ended up grenading the motor at one point and then realized that the 850 was also available. So I ended up doing an 850 swap. So technically I had a 78 or 79 750 with an 850 motor in it. And shaft drive, it was the first bike I completely tore down in my parents' basement in the closet. I sandblasted it with a 33-gallon small compressor. That's how I got into the powder coating stuff, because of Jap bikes. Blasted it, cut all the tabs off, started finding friends with welders or friends whose parents had welders, and I'm butchering tabs on, and it was a mess. It was terrible. It was not a good build. It was not, honestly, I didn't die, but I would not say that any of those decisions were made proper, right? Any of the welds that I did, you weld something, it doesn't matter what it looks like, because you're gonna sit there and grind it all away, not thinking about structure. But you gotta start somewhere, right? You gotta start somewhere. And this, in my head, when I'm done with it, is not gonna be a perfect, I'm not trying to sell this bike for big money or anything like that, but I do want it running and riding. I don't wanna just sell it as a junker or sell it as, you know, parts bike or whatever else, because it still runs, it's got compression. Yeah, we lit it on fire, that just makes it cooler. But I'm trying to do this as budget friendly as possible, but also make it mechanically go down the road and drive. I want the brakes to work. I want the carbs to run proper, which is why we're probably gonna keep the airbox. I'm not gonna lie, I also thought this is a perfect candidate for somebody to buy and chop the crap out of this thing. They sell hardtails for these now. You can do it. Some of my good buddies built a KZ 750 electric start, solo seat, killer bike. Got sold to a relative who was out in Arizona. He'd rip that thing through the desert, cruising at 100 miles an hour. 90, 100, all day long. They're good bikes. Are they Harleys? No, absolutely not. But they are good motorcycles. And I think for somebody, if I could find somebody, you know, 15, 20 years younger, getting their first bike or something that they want to cut their teeth on, build a custom bike of some sort, you can kind of do whatever you want with these. So I want to get the hard mechanicals done so somebody can buy a running, driving, titled up and down the road. They can putz around with it. They can do little changes, put some Clubmans on it, throw a cafe seat on if that's what you want to do. To me, I wouldn't do it on this one because it's not really a frame for that. I thought about buying the hardtail and hacking this up. I also thought about doing the budget hardtail just for the channel. And we'll just cut this off and weld it up to the swing arm, pull the shocks, drop it 3 inches, weld it to the swing arm, but then it's gonna turn into a project and I don't have time because I really wanna work on that sporty, and I just picked up another big twin chopper frame. So I'm kind of on the parts hunt for a big twin shovel or Evo motor. I wouldn't mind doing an Evo. I know I'm getting off track on this, but frame presented itself. I got front ends, I got parts, I got everything else to make the rest of that work. Yeah, that ironhead really needs to get done. But I do want to take my time on that one, so that's why I'm not rushing it and sneaking in something else and different here. Is this going to be 100% mechanical? No. I will have a laundry list of things that need to be done and replaced. I just don't want to spend the money on them. Coils, they work, they spark. It lit off and ran. We still don't have it running well. But I'm not going to put a bunch of money into coils on a bike that I don't care about. Probably not going to buy tires on a bike that I don't care about. Probably not going to buy a chain. If this was mine, you're getting fresh brakes, fresh running bike. It'll run and go up the road. I would not recommend running it that long on these tires, on that chain, on a lot of the stuff that has been sitting outside. Wiring, look at this. This is absurd. This is an insane amount of wires. You can get rid of a lot of this. Is it as easy as stripping down wiring on a chopper? Absolutely not, because it's from 1980. So you got your brain box for the electronic ignition, you got all this other stuff, but if the carbs are dialed and everything else is set up, it should be a reliably starting bike. Definitely would replace all of these spark plug wires. I don't know if I'm gonna hook up all the stock vacuum lines because I don't really see the point. Fight me in the comments, prove me wrong. It's got a 4-bank of CV carbs. I could pull the airbox and throw pods on there, but I know that opens up a tuning nightmare, and then I gotta buy jets or mess with the needle, and it just delays the process for a bike that was running and driving in stock form. One of the reasons I didn't pull the idle mixture screws out of those carbs that we're gonna be starting on soon. But besides the tangent that I'm just going off on, I'm explaining what it is. You got your 4-into-1. 4-into-1 on a inline 4 sounds good. Tell me I'm wrong. Is it Harley, cool, tough guy, muscle bike sound? No, but they sound very good. Stainless pipes, it looks like on there, maybe. Chrome, stainless, I can't tell. But if somebody was to buy this, especially a younger kid starting out or older guy that had one back in the day that wants to kind of restore it, it's not too bad of a candidate for that. You know, it's all, for the most part, there. Not everything 100% factory, but it's definitely restorable, and people are into that. At the end of the day, it's an 80, so it's still 45 years old. I don't want that going to a junkyard. I don't want that getting scrapped. To me, it's worth putting a couple $100 into it and get a good running, rip it up and down the road. I mean, hell, I'll be riding this for a little while once I get the newest one done. Electric start, I don't gotta kick anything, all of that. But that's kind of where I'm at. I just wanted to take a minute and explain. We're not doing a bunch of jet bikes. We're not getting back into building cafes and brat bikes and doing all that other stuff right now. We're still gonna keep doing all the Harley stuff. I got a laundry list of things on this, in particular, this Super Glide. And we got tons of other chopper projects, but mini bike stuff, Dottie wants to do. So if she wants to do it, we're working on it. This, I'm doing my mom a favor, getting it out of the side of her house. I'm doing my brother a favor, getting this off of his mind. And I'm doing myself a favor by taking a break from Sportsters. So that's where we are at. We got the brakes done. They are hooked up on the front while we're waiting on parts for the rear. And now I think we're gonna tackle the carbs. Again, I did have one slide stuck on here. I don't remember which one. Free, not free, this one. Free, free. So these are all good except for this one slide that we're gonna have to free before we put this. Actually, that's gonna mess me up because I forgot about that until just now. I was gonna start cleaning up the rest of this stuff and slapping these together. All of my inner parts are in the bottom of this bin. It's overwhelming. It's not that bad. Pilot jet, main jet, atomizer tubes, little plugs, floats. It's all needles. A carb is a carb is a carb is a carb. Yes, there's variances. Yes, there's differences. I didn't know what that little turner knob did on the tractor, but I messed with it until I got it what sounded happy and ran with that. So hopefully somebody in the comments can enlighten me on that one. And if I need to adjust or tweak anything there, I will. So this is all good. I didn't bend any of the tangs on the floats. I didn't change anything there. So this should all go right back in the way it was. A couple of the fuel passages were completely clogged, but now this has been, all the inner bits have been soaking, minus the float bowls. I did not clean out the actual bottom of the float bowls yet, but that's insignificant. I need to, one, get this slide freed up. That is first and foremost on the list of priorities. We got to get that slide moving again, so I'm going to soak this one more time and then try and pry on it gently and see if I can get it to shimmy or wiggle. Then we'll start slapping this together. And I don't know if that's gonna happen in this video, so I am gonna end this here. Next video will be on the carbs, unless I can get this going right now, and then we'll keep jamming on it. But that's where we're at on the KZ. Next up will be carburetors. Front brakes are done. I'm not gonna film the rear brake cylinder or caliper rebuild because I'm waiting on parts. I don't know when it's gonna be here, and I just did 2 of them time-lapsed. So if you need more detail, let me know in the comments before I get the parts for that, and I'll make a video on how I actually do the brake things. But that is where we are at. Hopefully I don't scare too many of you guys away doing non-Harley stuff, but to me, old bikes are old bikes. I don't care what they are, they're still fun. What the hell is that? Oh, duh. All the electrical I pulled, I'm like, what was resting on this chain? That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all those fun things, and we will catch you on the next one.